You wake up, you follow your routine. You respond exactly how people expect. Congratulations, you're easy to read, easy to control, and easy to crush. Predictability is not order. It's not discipline. It's a silent surrender, a white flag you wave without knowing. The predictable man is a slave to habit and a puppet in the hands of manipulators. He shows his next move before he even takes it. You know what's coming, so does everyone else, including your enemies. The moment they can anticipate you, they can outmaneuver you. And the moment you become predictable, you become dispensable. In the chessboard of power, the king who follows patterns dies early. The one who thrives, he moves in silence. He lets them guess. He lets them prepare for the wrong war. Predictability is a weakness you advertise like perfume. You think it's comforting, but it's suffocating your power. It makes you boring, unthreatening, harmless, and in the world of predators, harmless means prey. People respect what they fear, and they only fear what they don't understand. The unknown, the uncertain, the volatile, the mysterious, that's what builds power. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But let me tell you, it is impossible to be feared when you're predictable. Fear comes from the unknown. It comes from the fact that they don't know what you'll do next, or how far you'll go. If your actions are a straight line, then anyone can trace it, break that line. Stop being dependable in a world that devours the dependable. You think being consistent earns loyalty. Wrong. It earns expectations, and expectations breed entitlement, and entitlement is the breeding ground of betrayal. You show up for everyone, you're expected. You respond the same way, you're predictable. You react the same way, you're programmable. Do you want power or do you want peace? Because peace is for the predictable. Power is for the unpredictable. Look at every manipulator in history, every tyrant, every genius, every ruler. They were never obvious. They never showed their full hand. They never made their intentions clear. They spoke in riddles. They moved in silence. They kept people guessing. That guessing is power. That uncertainty is fear. And fear is control. You don't need to be loud. You need to be unreadable. You don't need to change everything. You just need to make sure no one can predict your next 3 steps. Sometimes you speak. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you fight. Sometimes you walk away. Sometimes you forgive. Other times, you burn the bridge and make them watch. That's what makes them afraid of crossing you. Not your words, not your strength, but the unpredictability of your retaliation. When people don't know your limits, they assume you have none. Let your silence scare them. Let your absence confuse them. Let your presence dominate the room, but not in a way they expect. Change the game constantly. Be like a storm with no pattern. The enemy can't fight a storm it can't read. If people can predict your emotions, your responses, your habits, they can own you. You want freedom. Break your patterns. You want respect. Be the unknown. This world doesn't reward the loyal or the loud. It rewards the unreadable. Be calm, be cold, be calculated, but never be predictable. Do you know how predators hunt? They don't chase at random. They study, they observe, they wait. They map your movements, your habits, your weak spots. They watch what time you show up, how you respond to stress, who you protect, what makes you tick. And then, they strike exactly when you expected it least, but they expected it most. Because you were predictable. That's how the world works. Not in fairness, not in kindness, in tactics. And if your next move is obvious, then you've already lost the game. Your enemy doesn't need to be stronger. He just needs to be more flexible. He needs to be more patient. He needs to know your routine better than you do. You think routine is power, that it makes you productive, that it makes you reliable. But to those watching from the shadows, it makes you programmable. And programmable people are replaceable. They're pawns, they're tools. They're not feared, they're used. You must understand, being unpredictable is not about being chaotic. It's not about being unstable. It's about being unreadable. And unreadability is the ultimate defense. Because once they understand your algorithm, they can override you. Once they know you always forgive, they sin on schedule. Once they know you won't walk away, they tighten the leash. Once they know how you'll react, they push just enough to trigger it. And here's the worst part. You train them to do it. By being consistent, by being available, by being dependable. You showed up every time. Now it's expected. You never got angry. Now they think you're weak. You always took the blame. Now they give it to you by default. Predictability isn't just weakness. It's an invitation, a target, a red dot on your back, telling every manipulator in the room exactly where to aim. So what's the way out? Disappear from the pattern. Shift the rhythm. Speak less, delay answers. Walk away mid-sentence. Say no when they expect yes. And most importantly, sometimes do nothing. Let your inaction speak louder than words. Confuse them. Keep them wondering. Not out of cruelty, but control. A man who cannot be mapped, cannot be manipulated. Look at nature's most dangerous animals. The ones that scare even the apex predators. They're not always the loudest. They're the ones whose movements are unpredictable. You don't know if they'll flee, fight, or feast. That's where power lies, in uncertainty. Now let me ask you this. If someone were to plan your destruction, how long would it take them to predict your next 3 moves? If the answer is not long, then you're already halfway defeated. Start misdirecting. Start keeping your real intentions private. Start making people second-guess everything they assume about you. Because here's the truth. People don't attack what they can't calculate. People don't betray what they can't anticipate. People don't mess with what they don't understand. Be the exception. Be the mystery. Be the glitch in their system. Every now and then vanish. Every now and then explode. Every now and then forgive. Then punish twice as hard the next time. Let them wonder what version of you is walking into the room. Make them cautious. Make them alert. Make them afraid to cross you. Because fear is not built on power alone. It's built on unpredictability. And unpredictability is how you make yourself untouchable. Patterns are comfort. Routines are safety. But only to the sheep. Only to those who believe the world rewards the consistent. Only to those naive enough to think that being reliable will protect them. Let me teach you something truer, darker, and far more useful. Patterns are not protection. They are cages, designed not to hold you in, but to make your destruction efficient. Because once they see your rhythm, they can write your end. Predictability isn't just noticed by enemies. It's used by them. The moment you become a machine, repeating the same cycles, they start crafting your collapse. You say yes every time. They'll wait until you're exhausted, then ask again. You never argue. They'll push your boundaries quietly until you're drowning in their demands. You always show up at 8, always reply within 10 minutes, always act calm. Now they know how to control your entire nervous system. And if they can control your nervous system, they own you. You become programmable, controllable, forgettable. Let me ask you, what makes a man powerful? It's not wealth, it's not looks, it's not charm. It's the ability to surprise, to break expectations, to disorient. Because in disorientation, you seize control. While they're recalibrating, you move. While they're guessing, you strike. While they hesitate, you ascend. Power isn't just about dominance. It's about timing. And timing belongs to the one no one can predict. Do you want to rise? Then you must be capable of breaking your own patterns before others learn them. You must live with strategic inconsistency. Be disciplined but not robotic. Be reliable but not obvious. Be kind but never in a pattern. Because when kindness becomes predictable, it becomes a weakness. When availability becomes routine, it becomes obligation. When forgiveness becomes automatic, it becomes permission. So here is your new commandment. Shatter your patterns before others. Use them to shatter you. Take a different route. Respond with silence instead of fury. Disappear after a win. Laugh when they expect offense. Decline what everyone assumes you'll accept. Keep them guessing. Keep them off balance. Keep them uncertain. Because uncertainty is your shield. It's your camouflage in a world of hunters. A predictable man is like a map someone else has drawn. Every move known. Every weakness labeled. Every step traceable. But an unpredictable man, he is an uncharted territory. No one dares to invade land they do not understand. No one plays games they cannot read. You want power. You want respect. You want the freedom to move without chains. Then become unreadable. A mystery cannot be managed. An enigma cannot be enslaved. A man who refuses to be defined cannot be defeated. Break your patterns, and you break the chains they never told you were there. People don't fear the strong. They fear the unknown. Because what they can't read, they can't prepare for. And what they can't prepare for, they avoid, respect, or submit to. Now listen closely. Predictability is a comfort drug, not for you but for them. When people can predict you, they can disarm you without resistance. They can say the right words, use the right tone, press the right emotional buttons. They don't need strength to beat you. They just need to understand you. Once they do, you're no longer a threat. You're a formula, and formulas are easy to manipulate. That's why true power lies not in always being strong, but in being unreadable. Let me give you a brutal truth. Consistency in strategy is weakness. Consistency in character is control. You can be loyal, but don't always act like it. You can be honest, but sometimes let them question your motives. You can care, but never make caring your default setting. Why? Because power comes from keeping others mentally off balance. Predictability gives them mental rest. They stop thinking. They stop worrying. They stop respecting. But when they don't know what version of you they'll face, the cold one or the warm one, the silent one or the sharp-tongued one, the one who helps or the one who watches, they stay alert. They stay careful. They stay beneath you. Because unpredictability does one thing that nothing else does. It forces everyone to play on your terms. They can't push you because they don't know where the line is. They can't manipulate you because they don't know what matters to you. They can't threaten you because they don't know what you'll tolerate. You are not a storm they can prepare for. You are the weather they can't predict. This is not cruelty. This is command. Even in war, the generals who win are the ones who change patterns mid-battle. They retreat when expected to attack. They delay when expected to rush. They strike in silence and vanish in daylight. Why? Because mind games win wars before bullets do. And life, your career, your relationships, your ambitions, is a series of psychological wars. Win them before they start. You want respect from your team. Don't always respond to mistakes the same way. You want loyalty from people. Don't always give your time freely. You want admiration from rivals. Don't show your hand. You must condition others to never fully understand you. Let them feel they almost get you, but not quite. Let them think they know your next move, then switch it. Let them walk on mental eggshells around you, not from fear of violence, but fear of misreading your silence. That's where your dominance is forged. When a man walks into a room and no one knows what mood he's in, they listen, they wait, they hesitate. He owns the room before he even speaks. Compare that to the smiling, predictable man. Everyone knows what he'll say, how he'll react, what line not to cross, or worse, that he has no line at all. He may be liked, but he'll never be respected. He'll never be feared. And let me be clear, if you're not feared at some level, you're always replaceable. So stop being the man they can read like a children's book. Start being the one whose eyes say, "You don't know me." Because when you master unpredictability, you master perception. And when you master perception, you no longer chase power, you become it. Look at the patterns around you. The same greetings, the same responses, the same emotional reactions. People operate like wind-up toys, stuck on repeat, and then they wonder why they're easy to control. Predictability is not just weakness, it's a cage, a self-imposed prison of behavior that others learn to manipulate. They learn when you'll break. They learn when you'll give in. They learn what to say to get what they want from you. You've taught them how to defeat you by being consistent. Let me make something clear. The world does not reward good men. It rewards strategic men. And strategy demands mystery. Every time you show your whole hand, your thoughts, your feelings, your plans, you bleed power. They nod politely, they smile, but inside they're categorizing you, labeling you, storing you in a box they can reopen and control at will. Because when they know what you'll do, they control how you do it. But when you're unpredictable, you're not a person anymore. You're a calculation they can never solve. And that scares them. Let's be ruthless about it. People only respect two things: what they fear and what they can't understand. When you're predictable, you're neither. You're comfort, you're safe, you're forgettable. To gain power, you must learn to disrupt expectation, not randomly, but tactically. Controlled chaos. Make them second-guess themselves. Make them question their assumptions about you. Give them silence when they expect rage. Give them calm when they expect emotion. Give them withdrawal when they expect your help. Let them feel uneasy in your presence, not because you threaten them, but because they can't figure you out. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need to flex your status. You just need to be unreadable, because mystery is louder than noise. They'll talk about you behind closed doors. They'll analyze your expressions. They'll ask others what you're really like. And while they're busy decoding your behavior, you're already 3 moves ahead. That's control. Think of Machiavelli himself. He never said, be evil. He said, be effective. To be effective, you must not be obvious. Even lions don't roar when they hunt. They hide, they stalk, they wait. Because the moment their target knows they're coming, the game is over. You must hunt the same way. In silence, in surprise, in strategy. When they think you'll back down, confront. When they expect apology, remain cold. When they seek comfort, give distance. It's not cruelty, it's calculation. You are not here to make others feel safe. You are here to own the battlefield of perception. Predictability is generosity to the wrong people. It gives enemies a roadmap. It gives manipulators a script. It gives the weak a weapon. So destroy it. Burn your patterns. Shatter your routines. Leave no clear trail behind you. Be the kind of force that can't be predicted, only respected. Because once you become unpredictable, they don't just fear you. They think twice before even trying you. They hesitate, and in hesitation, you win. They'll never know what you're truly capable of. And that's exactly the way you want it.